Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Wave. We talk about a lot of concepts that might help you with your long-term investments into cryptos. In this episode, we'll talk about how you can determine if a token is good for investment or not. I keep getting asked this question quite often. Is Polkadot good? Is Ethereum good? Is Polygon good? If you ask me that, I can very easily tell you if it's yes or no, but that doesn't really help you much, right? You have to do your own research, and I know many of you don't have the time for it. There's a very simple way. I can show you 6 simple steps that you should follow to determine whether a token is good or bad. This will at least help you, not invest in bad tokens where you might face a lot of losses. Let's look at what these are. Before we look at the 6 parameters, I must ask all of you to please read through the white paper of the token. In this sort of example, I will take you through 6 parameters, which are tokenomics, team, utility, roadmap, activity, and the stakeholders. We'll look at basic attention token as an example. Right, BAT is one of my most favorite tokens. We look at basic attention token as an example. You can go to the website of the particular token that you want to evaluate. You'll find a white paper. White papers are probably the starting point of your whole research. Right? What do you have to do? Go through the white paper. First flag is right here on top. Look at the number of pages. If a white paper is 3 pages long, 4 pages long, then I don't know. That's already a red flag for me, right? A longer white paper and also the contents, if it is very well detailed, where they describe to you the problem that they're trying to solve, their roadmap, what are they trying to achieve, maybe team and the tokenomics in this, then that's a good white paper, right? This will also help you learn about some new sectors. Right? So I strongly urge all of you to try and read as many white papers as possible. So usually it starts off with an abstract, and in the content pages you can go through the different things that are sort of explained in the white paper, from value proposition to even the token launch and distribution to some FAQs. You'll find a lot of interesting stuff in the white paper. I'll introduce you to some other resources as well as we go along in this concept explanation today. So, what is tokenomics? Tokenomics is a popular term that has come up in the last few years that describes the math and incentives governing crypto assets. Right. So, tokenomics specifically refers to two things. Right. Tokenomics is token plus economics. The two things, of course, in economics is the most basic thing is the supply and demand. Right. So, supply in terms of how many tokens exist today, how many tokens will ever exist, right? How quickly are new ones being released, right? In the case of Bitcoin, for instance, there are only 21 million tokens ever in existence. Right? Today, 19 million tokens exist. How quickly are they being released? I think about 6.25 Bitcoin for every 10 minutes or so. That's the schedule of the supply right now. Demand: how many users are there today? How many users would want this in the future? How quickly do users want this? These two sort of tell you how good something is or not, right? And how do you evaluate this? Well, there are websites. To begin with, you can go to CoinGecko. CoinGecko will give you a lot of information. There's another website called Messari, right? Messari.io. Messari gives you amazing information about a lot of things about the token. You can search for the token that you're trying to look for. You can read a little bit about it. And there is a section called tokenomics right here on the left side. You can click on that. It will tell you what kind of a token is it, what is it used for, a little bit about it. Then you can look at the token launch and distribution. Here it will talk about who is going to own how much, right? If you look at BAT, for instance, more than 66% is owned by investors like you and me. That's a good thing. If founders own more than let's say major part of the a big chunk of the tokens, then that's bad news, right? That might not really be very good. So good tokens are those that have that do not have concentration of large users, that have many users owning the whole pie. This means that there will be more users as well. Then they also give about 20% to probably early adopters and some airdrops and so on, right? So that's the breakup in terms of who owns how much of the tokens. If you look at the supply schedule, it says it's a fixed supply. So this is great. Do not invest, or I would not personally do not like to invest in tokens that have a sort of a infinite supply of sorts, right? You will find some more details about it. You can look at BAT on CoinGecko, for instance, or even CoinMarketCap. Here it talks about what is the total supply, what is the maximum supply, what is the circulating supply, right? This will give you an idea of how much of the tokens are already there. If you look at this, I think almost 1.498 million, that's nearly all the tokens are already in supply, right? Why this is important? If let's say only 10% of tokens are in supply and 90% are yet to come, that means as more tokens get minted, and if the number of users do not increase proportionately, there's a likelihood that the token value can drop. So you have to be careful of that. These are some of the things that you have to keep in note of while you determine whether you want to invest in this token or not. This is Bitcoin tokenomics, where we know that we have 21 million Bitcoin. The last of it will come out by 2140 and so on. The next step is team. You need an amazing team, right? Or at least an amazing team is more likely to succeed, right? That is the hypothesis that we are sort of going with. What you can look for is, does this team have experience being in the tech space, right? Are they, were they a founder of another Web3 startup? Are they a tech veteran? Like, have they worked in large corporations like Google or something before? Right? Or at least are they from, let's say, from the domain? In this case, like in the case of BAT, is somebody from an ad tech kind of a space, right? What is their achievements? Let's look at that for this team. So BAT has an amazing team. Let me show that to you. If you go to their website, click on team, you can see that. Yeah, right. Now, if you see the founder is the creator of JavaScript. He was a creator of Firefox, right? He's such an amazing person with such amazing credentials. So you know that the team is a bunch of superstars, right? I'm not going into the details of the others. You can, of course, look up their LinkedIn or Twitter handles to figure out who they are, what have they done in the past, and so on. But this is just to give you an example that if you have a great team, it means that it is an assurance of their past success, and also the fact that they might have a lot of network which can help in the success of this token as well. Then the next step is utility. So no matter what you make, right? If unless somebody uses it, there's no point to it. If you let's say if you bake a cake, and if nobody wants to eat it, that goes to waste. Right? Same with cryptos. If you do not have a crypto that is being used by anybody, then what's the point of it? Eventually, the price is going to drop. Let's see how if this is being utilized well. Well, there was growth, right? You can see growth right on the top. You can click on that. It will show you usually websites have it. Some tokens might not really have it. You might have to dig a little deep to find out how many users are using it and so on. If you look at Brave, they prominently display they have about 55 million monthly active users, more than close to 18 million daily active users, right? That's a lot of users. And if you see the trajectory, it has consistently grown from 2019 to now. That's a huge growth. You can also look at the creators because that's an important part of their business model. You can also look at some of the other metrics here. Um, there was a section on even advertisers. I have not seen. I can't see that now. But anyway, let's skip that for now. Then this product roadmap. Right? So you are investing in a tech startup, literally. Right? Any crypto project it's like an early stage tech startup that is yet to build their entire suite of products, so or entire suite of features. Right? They're going to take some time to do that. So do they at least have a roadmap, and are they meeting it? Right? If the project has been in place for the last 3 years, what was their roadmap and have they met it? Right? That's an important part for you to look at. And what is their future roadmap? This will help you figure out if the team is diligent, if they have a vision for the future. Right? You can go to Mesari again. Right? On Mesari, if you go to if you go to the top section, you can see roadmap here. If you go to what is basic attention token, there's a section called roadmap. So there they will talk about what was their roadmap. It looks like they already had two roadmaps. They had some upgrades or uh, some things that they took live already in 2017 and 2018. So it's good. The longer the token has been in existence, it means that there is something authentic going on. It's not a scam. People are not taking your money and running away with it. And if you see certain dates have not been announced yet, these are probably future releases that are yet to happen. There are many of them, so that is great news that they have thought through a lot. In fact, I guess even on the home page, they did have some bit of information about yeah, here it is, the BAT getting into the DeFi space. They're trying to bring in a wallet and Brave swaps and so on. So this is good news. They have a great product roadmap going ahead. And then activity, right? This could be in terms of social media presence. Are people talking about it? This could be in terms of activity of the founders or the founding team, uh, or even generally the media talking about it. This is great news if they have all this, because that means people want it, people like it, people are talking about it. They are in the, they are interacting. They're not some anonymous group that is going to run away anytime soon. Right? Where can you see that? If you want to see basic social media presence, you can go to CoinGecko again. There's a section called social right here, right? And this will tell you how many Reddit subscribers or Twitter followers or Telegram users and so on that they have. These are good numbers. They have a lot of followers on all this. And you can also go on YouTube and search for basic attention tokens, see the latest interviews that the founders have probably given, or see what which media outlet is covering them. Look at the articles on probably Google News. These will give you a great sense of what is the activity around this token in the social media, in the press, and in other channels. And once you're done with activity, you need to look at stakeholders. Right? Stakeholders are investors, the ecosystem, advisors, power users, right? Collaborators, evangelists, all important people who can make it or break it for the project. Right? Each of these people have a role to play, and they can do a lot in terms of getting this project to take off. Right? Let's see where we can sort of find them. Now, if you go back to Messari again, you can see contributors, investors, advisors. Right? Let's look at investors first. And if you see the investors or in this token, you have several large investors like Digital Currency Group. Why is this important? This is important because um, you and I probably don't have the resources or the money to try and do all due diligence before investing in a token, but large funds do. Right? They go through a very detailed due diligence process where they figure out if the technology is good, if there's any scam in all this, what is the legality of all this. They look at a number of factors, right? They are doing their due diligence, and if large funds are investing in it, then you can sort of piggyback on the due diligence that they have done. That's a good. That's something good if large funds have invested in it. And then you can look at advisors, right? So they have some good set of advisors. You can click on each of them to figure out what have they done, what is their contribution here, and so on. And I think they also had the Brave ecosystem somewhere. Yep. So if you see the Brave ecosystem, it is powered by over 743,000 creators who have asked for BAT tokens as sort of the reward for ads. Right, there are about 207K Twitter verified creators, and so on. So there is a great amount of campaigns and stakeholders who are important for this domain, right? So the token is doing well in all this aspect. Right? So now that we went through all this, what you can do after all this is quantify your results. Right? What does that mean? We went through tokenomics, team, utility, roadmap, activity, stakeholders. Six parameters. So note down all the tokens in a column: BAT, token 2, token 3, whatever else you want to evaluate. Right? A very simple way would be put a yes or no or 1 or 0 for each of these things. If you felt that the team was good, put a 1. If you felt that the tokenomics was good, put 1. Right? If you felt it was bad, then give it a 0. Right? Add it up. If the ratings are 6 on 6 as per your own rating, then that might be a good token that you want to invest in. Right? If keep a cutoff for yourself. Let's say you say above 4 is other tokens that I invest in. Anything below that I will not invest in. Right? Stick to that. This would at least weed out any bad tokens, and you have faith in what you have invested in. If you want to evaluate your portfolio in case you've already invested in a bunch of tokens, you can repeat the same exercise, right? You can see what are the ratings. If the rating is bad for any token, like let's say a token got 3 out of 6, then maybe it's a good time for you to sell it, right? Exit while you still have some profits, or if you have some small amount of losses, cut your losses, exit right there. Right? This might be a great way for you to have a very well balanced or a very well thought through, well researched portfolio. Hope this 6 simple steps helps you to make a very informed choice in what you want to invest in. For more great content like this, please subscribe. We have a website called wave33.club where we talk about baskets of cryptos that you can easily invest in. Do go check it out. Stay tuned for the next episode where we'll talk about more important concepts for you as a long term investor. Thank you so much.